Hi, welcome to my art history project of pain and suffering. If you ever have the misfortune of going to Europe, which everyone makes a big deal out of for no reason, you might as well make your trip worthwhile by going to a local Gothic cathedral. Since you're already going to Europe, it is safe to assume you're already a poser wannabe. So I will list some Main Street loser places you can visit. You're welcome. There's Chartres Cathedral and Notre Dame Cathedral. Kinda. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, if you want to know more about cathedrals, do your own research. I'm not your dog. Enjoy, or whatever. First, you should know what Gothic cathedrals even are. It's a type of architecture style that looks like it would cut you with a knife if it could, which is cool. A lot of its notable qualities, such as stained glass windows, high ceilings, and arched walls, can be traced back to its Romanesque inspirations. However, it stands apart with its dramatically tall stature, pointed roofs, and thin walls. The style's origins can be traced back to the year 1144 and Abbot Suger. Suger was classmates with who would soon become King Louis VI. This is why you should always be nice to everyone in middle school, because you never know who's going to be the next King of France. Anyway, Suger grew up to be the abbot of Saint Denis and a close advisor to King Louis. Saint Denis was the official church of France and held the corpses of old dead kings. When Louis VI died and his predecessor Louis VII became king, the new king basically demoted Suger from being his main advisor. So Suger decided to focus on rebuilding Saint Denis, because he thought it looked dusty. And his inner Gothic soul took over, and he created a whole new style of architecture. King Louis VII and Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine saw it in 1144 and liked it. And thus was the birth of Gothic cathedrals. The current Chartres Cathedral was finished building in 1194. I say current because the cathedral was rebuilt twice due to being purposely destroyed twice. The first time was when Duke of Aquitaine invaded Chartres in 743 CE. A century after being rebuilt, Vikings burnt it down along with the rest of the city in 858 CE. Still, the people were adamant on rebuilding it, and it was probably for the best. For them. Then the church received a holy relic called the Sancta Camisia, which was a cloth supposedly worn by Virgin Mary while she was giving birth to Jesus Christ. The holy relic in the size of the church attracts many Christians. I don't know if that's a good thing. The Notre Dame Cathedral is probably the most mainstream cathedral. It is popular because of its Gothic aesthetic and likely because of its location in Paris, which is one of the most popular and renowned cities in the world. It also does not hurt that Disney made a whole movie featuring the church. Anyway, Notre Dame Cathedral was built on the ruins of two other churches. It was Maurice de Sully, the Bishop of Paris, who began the project of making one big church on those ruins, soon to be known as the Notre Dame Cathedral. In most recent news, the cathedral reached the headlights again when it burned down in 2019. There seems to be a trend of cathedrals just burning down. The incident was traced back to an electrical failure and that resulted in the collapse of a historical building and a large amount of lead being put in the community. Though it was a tragic event, it is slowly but surely opening back up to the public. So you finally reached the end of this dreaded presentation. I hope it was as painful as it was for me and caused you a lot of suffering. So just to reiterate, if you want to go to Europe, which you should not want to, you might as well visit the Chartres Cathedral and Notre Dame Cathedral, because at least then it has some semblance of Gothic aesthetic in whatever pose or wannabe way it does. Anyway, here's my sources. Bye.